This is a continuation of the video I've done about when we actually broke up. So if you haven't seen that one, this one won't make any sense to you. So please go back and watch that one. Thursday morning. He had not taken his Instagram account down, so I waited for my meeting nervously. The producers came, gave me the full copy of my wedding video, not the one on TV, the long version, and photographs, and then told me that Ben had called. I prepared myself, but to my surprise, they never mentioned divorce. I asked what he had talked about, and they said it was about trying to stop the article coming out. I asked if he had mentioned divorce at all, and they seemed surprised and said no. They had talked for over half an hour, and he'd never mentioned it. I felt so relieved. I honestly believed that he had taken what I said about divorce being a permanent ending and changed his mind so we could have a chance in the real world. That day was so stressful, waiting to hear if the kiss and tell story would run, as it was even more important now so that we would be able to, be together without the public scrutiny of a kiss and tell story. Finally, at 5 p.m, the call came to say that it wouldn't run the next day and most likely would not run at all. The producer said that he was about to call Ben to give him the good news too. I went to my bridesmaid's house for dinner and I was halfway through telling her about this 2-week period of ups and downs when I saw my phone suddenly start lighting up. I looked at it and non-stop messages were coming through from friends saying how sorry they were to hear the news and asking if I was okay. I started to shake as I opened my phone and clicked on a link someone had sent. There was my husband sitting there laughing and joking about how he cheated on me and we were getting divorced. I literally fell to my knees. I was shaking like a leaf and sobbing so hard that my friends started to panic. There was just too much to process. He was divorcing me. He had cheated on me. He was announcing it on the radio and he was laughing at me. Then I saw the Instagram video he did with Louisa Zisman. I didn't actually know who she was at first. I thought she was the girl he cheated with, but then I saw all the comments coming up about her, so I googled her and realised that she wasn't the other woman. She was nobody to me, but had decided to put a nasty video up ridiculing me and body shaming me. I called the producer and he had no idea what I was talking about. He had called Ben just after me, as he'd said, and had told him the same thing he told me, that the story wouldn't run. This was at 5 p.m, and Ben's interview went out at 6 p.m. There are very few moments in your life that truly rock you to your core, where you feel like this moment cannot be real, because if it is, then your whole life is about to change. Ben called me later that night and we talked for an hour. He insisted he did it to get ahead of the story, despite the fact the story wasn't even going to run. I asked him why he had lied to me about the cheating, but he swore on his mother's life to me that he had never even kissed another girl since the day we were matched. I told him that I'd listened to the radio show and I heard the words come out of his own mouth that he'd had a kiss and a cuddle, which is how he refers to sex. I asked how he could say that if it wasn't true, and he replied, well, it's just what you say, isn't it? He promised me that he would do no more interviews, and that was the last time we spoke until April, when he texted me saying happy birthday, like nothing had ever happened. I'll be honest, it made me so angry it ruined my birthday.